So I finally got around to replacing the SSD inside my Steam Deck, and the process is surprisingly easy. In this video, I want to walk you through the steps so you can do the same. I'd definitely recommend following along to the iFixit guide, and there will be a link in the description, but this video should give you a feel for the steps involved and give you the confidence that this is a really straightforward process. We first need to shut down our Steam Deck, so from the Steam Deck menu, select power and then select shut down. Since we will be opening the Steam Deck, it is recommended to put the Steam Deck into battery storage mode. With the Steam Deck powered off, we need to enter the BIOS menu. To do this, hold the volume up button and press the power button until you hear a beep. Then go down to the bottom right to the setup utility. On the left, go down to power and select battery storage mode. The Steam Deck will then power off, and the only way to turn it back on again is by connecting a power cable. We can then start surgery on our Steam Deck. I'm actually using the tools that came with the JSOC's backplate. You'll need a plastic pry tool, a suitable Phillips screwdriver, and you should also have a pair of tweezers. You can buy kits from Amazon, and iFixit also sell a kit, so it's worthwhile investing in a decent set of tools, but the tools that came with the JSOC's kit seem to be doing fine. I recommend placing the Steam Deck in the carry case to protect the analog sticks. To remove the backplate, there are 8 screws, 4 in the center and 4 in the outer edges. These are different sizes, so make sure that you do stay organized. Before we start prying off the backplate, you'll want to make sure that you have removed your SD card. Otherwise, you'll end up snapping it, and I actually nearly forgot myself, so do remember to remove the SD card. You can then use the pry tool to remove the backplate. I found that pushing it in below the R2 and L2 triggers worked best, and then you can remove the backplate. To get to the SSD, you need to remove the metal shield. One screw is underneath this foil, and this is where you use the tweezers to peel the foil back because you don't want to damage it. We can then remove the screw underneath. There are 2 more screws holding the shield in place, one in the bottom left and another in the top left. I actually had a hard time removing one of these screws and ended up rounding the screw off, so take extra care and make sure you don't do the same. To remove the battery, you pull on the black tag and it comes out pretty easy. We can then remove the SSD, which is held in place with a single screw. Wrapped around the SSD is a metal foil. We need to reuse this. So carefully remove the foil from the existing SSD. We can then go grab our new SSD. I'm using the 2TB Western Digital SSD. We then need to reverse the steps. So we wrap the SSD in the foil, reinsert it back into our Steam Deck and secure it in place with the single screw. We need to connect the battery. I actually forgot to do this the first time, so make sure you don't forget this step. And then we can reattach the shield using the 3 screws and then peel back the foil using our tweezers. We can then reattach the backplate. I wouldn't actually screw these back in yet, just in case we've made any mistakes. Next, we need to prepare our recovery image. To do this, you need a USB thumb drive. You need at least 8 GB. I'm using a 64 GB, which only cost a few pounds from Amazon. If you've been following the iFixit guide, you'll find a link to the Steam Deck recovery instructions. From here, you'll find a link to download the recovery image. So download that. And if you're using a Windows computer, you'll need Rufus to actually write the image to the USB thumb drive. So download Rufus. Once that's downloaded, connect your USB thumb drive and then open up the Rufus utility. From the device menu, make sure that your thumb drive is selected, and then from the select menu, select the Steam Deck recovery image and click OK. You can then click Start to start the process. Now this will take 5 to 10 minutes. So I've actually sped up the process here. Once it's complete, you can close down Rufus and eject your thumb drive. We can then go back to our Steam Deck and connect the thumb drive. Now because I'm using a USB thumb drive, the Steam Deck requires a USB-C. I'm using the JSOCKS right angle adapter and I absolutely love these adapters, and that will allow me to connect it to my Steam Deck. To boot into the Steam Deck recovery image, we need to hold the volume down button and press and hold the power button until you hear a beep. You'll then be presented with the boot menu. There will only be one option here, so select the USB option, and then it will boot into the recovery drive. This will take a short while, so be patient. And eventually you'll be presented with this screen with a series of options. The one we're interested in is Reimage Steam Deck, so give that a click and then click the Proceed button. This can take a while, so go grab a coffee and come back later. After a while, you'll be presented with the Reimaging Complete option, and then you can click Proceed to restart the Steam Deck. And that's it, you're done. So now we just need to go through the Steam Deck setup process. I've sped up the process here, but during this process you will need to update the Steam Deck, and you'll want to make sure that you are connected to power. Once that's complete, you'll be prompted to log in, and then after that you'll be welcomed by the tutorial and you'll be able to start using your Steam Deck. So the first thing I recommend checking, of course, is that the storage is the correct size. So go down to settings and then storage, and as you can see here I have 1.8 terabytes of free space, and again a complimentary screen clean. Since we have a spare SSD, what I would actually recommend picking up is one of these enclosures. This is the U-green enclosure, but what this lets you do is to actually use your old SSD as a storage device. So this is really useful and means that it's not wasted. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope you found that useful. Now, because my Steam Deck is now stock, I will be doing future videos covering EmuDeck and DeckyLoader. So if you're interested in checking those out, then please consider subscribing. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.